Opponent save switches into their giant tin can pvpokes #1 rank pick. Fairies aren't supposed to counter steel types. Well, tin can. Meet pvpokes 318th pick Galarian Rapidash. We full send the high horsepower, landing for heavy super effective damage. The opponent fires a charge move. We're calling no flash cannon. The opponent only throws the zap. And this tin can is about to meet its maker. Galarian Rapidash over farms, fires on the charge move priority event. It's going to be high tin can, by tin can. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are doing something a little different. We're normally repping that shadow spice. Today we're repping some spice that isn't a shadow. We're going to be taking a look at pvpokes 318th rank pick Galarian Rapidash. Why have one Galarian fairy when you can have two? We're also taking a look at Galarian Weezing, repping the play rough moveset. We've recently had a Dubwool event as well. I know a lot of you are going to be excited to use Dubwool, so let's take a look how it fares in the Open Ultra League. Without any further ado, let's get into the video. And in Game 1, today's featured battler, K-Twin7. Huge shout out to K-Twin for the battle submission. He's already legend, he's now having fun. Picks up a great lead, Dubwool into Auroras. The double kicks are double super effective. My god, is that a lot of the use of the word double. We landed the payback, tanked the meteor beam, we look for the double kick farm down. Auroras makes a last second weather ball and K2 just gonna allow his Dubwool to go down. We come into Rapidash. It looks like at this stage we're running Fairy Wind. Don't mind the graphic on the left, we are later going to TM to Psycho Cut. We tank the weather ball. My god, Galarian Rapidash, My Little Pony is super glassy. The opponent gives up switch, sending out Trevenant, and here comes Weezing. Weezing goes straight for the brutal swing, drawing the first Protect Shield. The opponent now sends out Virizion, and do they know? If they don't know about the play rough coverage, my god, are they about to find out? We full send it. The opponent unfortunately shields. Boo, Mr. Opponent. The opponent at the Stone Edge, and we correctly shield up the Stone Edge. If I make some blunders with calling charge moves, I believe these battles are in Italian, so stay tuned for some absolute classic Jamie Finn fails. We land the play rough, get the Fairy Wind farm down. The opponent sends out Trevenant. We make a savage catch, catching the charge move on My Little Pony. The opponent went for a masturbating session, throwing the seed bomb bait. Trevenants love to bait. We throw the high horsepower. Unfortunately, that is resisted. However, Weezing with one Protect Shield too high behind, even if the opponent baits again, which of course they do, it's going to be game over. No amount of masturbating will be saving this opponent. The first brutal swing gets them low, and the second one is going to be all she wrote. GG's, and thanks for playing. K-Twin off to a very nice 1-0 start. We've actually got a longer video today, 3 entire sets. In the next battle, we pick up a pretty neutral lead. Our double kicks are resisted due to Glissapod's bug typing. However, due to our normal typing, we double resist the Shadow Claw damage. We land the body slam. The opponent going to be returning fire with the liquidation. Liquidation has a chance to lower our defense. However, no defense drop is going to really matter in the terms of fast move pressure. We fire off another body slam. Glissapod shrugs it off. The opponent going to spam out yet another liquidation. Dubwool sitting in a comfortable spot. We're only one double kick away from the body slam, and this is going to be a comfortable win in the zero shield. The opponent sack the lead. As K-Twin is running an ABB team, we instantly pivot into My Little Pony, and no, the opponent's got Nidoqueen. I think this is why we TM to Psycho Cut, as the Fairy Winds are resisted, whereas the Psycho Cuts would hit back for super effective against counters such as Nidoqueen. The opponent shields up the body slam, and we are sitting in a terrible spot. Despite K-Twin running a double Fairy backline, Weezing only takes neutral from Poison due to Poison resisting and Fairy taking super effective. But Nidoqueen is just a massive core breaker for the entirety of the team. Dubwool, even if it was healthy, wouldn't have a particularly good matchup here either, as Nidoqueen would be resisting our double kicks. K-Twin trying to find a win con, fires off one more brutal swing. Stay in school, kids, learn to count. We catch the next Poison Fang onto Dubwool, but I doubt that saves us. The opponent still with one Protect Shield too high behind. K-Twin fires off the brutal swing on the charge move priority event. Nidoqueen commits the shield, and we're going to be forced to shield this up. What the heck could we beat in the back? Perhaps a Scrafty. K-Twin looking to fire off the brutal swing. We overfarm as much as physically possible. Brutal swing secures the knockout, and the opponent's final Pokemon is most certainly not Scrafty, and we concede the match. In the next battle, we see Haxorus. Two better responses in the back. We save switch into My Little Pony, and the opponent answers with Charizard. My Little Pony really attack weighted. If the opponent's running a PvP IV Charizard, we're actually going to win CMP. Speaking of which, evidently they are not. As Charizard does win the charge move priority event, they bait with a Dragon Claw, of course, because they love to bait. However, K-Twin fires off another Body Slam, drawing a Protect Shield. The opponent again builds up to what could be a Blast Burn. K-Twin, recognising that he loses CMP, took the extra. This is going to allow him to take back switch. Charizard is going to get outpaced. If they invest this Protect Shield, the opponent recognised that, letting it go, and we've took back switch, and that should be all she wrote. The opponent's final Pokemon is Galarian Weezing. Do they respect the high horsepower coverage? Yes, they do. The opponent invests their final shield. The opponent gonna return fire with the Brutal Swing. Brutal Swing hits for neutral. We get taken out. We send out Dubwool. The opponent sends back out Haxorus. And it's going to be high Haxorus by Haxorus. The play rough is going to vanquish them back to their Pokeball. Get wrecked. The opponent sends back out their own Galarian Weezing, but there's zero chance this Weezing has enough in the tank to handle both our Pokemon. The opponent also running play rough. Trainer, please top left. Please, I beg of you, what the heck are you expecting? K-Twin is alive and well. He didn't get struck by lightning. He didn't have a fucking heart attack, just concede the match. The opponent now throws a Brutal Swing, and finally, they do concede. Moving on to the next one. We'll lead our spammy little goat Dubwool into yet another spammy Pokemon, Swampert. K-Twin can fire this Body Slam as soon as he gets it, and that is going to be great fast move timing, as you want to throw at odd numbers when using 3 turn versus 2 turn. The opponent going to throw 4, again for optimal fast move timing and likely return fire with the Hydro Cannon Dubwool. Super tick, we shrug it off. The opponent attempts to make a catch onto Registeel, and here comes Galarian Rapidash. Steel type supposed to counter fairies. Well, if this opponent don't know about the high horsepower coverage, my god, are they about to find out. It lands for heavy super effective damage. The opponent fires off the Zap Cannon. Evidently they don't have Flash Cannon. K-Twin now over farms, fires off the next high horsepower on the charge move priority event. It's going to be high Reggie by Reggie. Get fucking wrecked. The opponent sends out Charizard and Rapidash. Still not done. Gonna make the Body Slam. Body Slam draws a Protect Shield. The opponent gets a very nice wing attack farm down. K-Twin gonna send out his Weezing, because we don't want it aligned with Swampert. Last second we commit a shield. We correctly shield up the Blast Burn. Charizard continues to stay in, so K-Twin gonna fire off the Brutal Swing. Brutal Swing is gonna land for neutral. It looks like the next Brutal Swing would knock out, but we go for the wham bam combo play, serving up the Big Mac and the fries. Body Slam gets Charizard low, and the opponent send back out Swampert. K-Twin tanks the Hydro Cannon. Holy crap, Dubwool's thick. We then build up to the payback, and we're baiting with a Body Slam. Body Slam forces the final Protect Shield. Can we survive the Mud Shot? No, we don't get new mechanics. Swampert gets the Mud Shot farm down. The opponent building up to an Earthquake, so we make the Brutal Swing. Brutal Swing doesn't knock out, which is absolutely brutal. The opponent now at an Earthquake. We're forced to invest our final Protect Shield here, and it's going to be all about Weezing's Bolt. Can we survive a Blast Burn? Come on, Weezing, please be thick. Apparently we're not thick enough. GG's to that opponent. If we would have got the inconsistent new mechanic, we would have actually won that game, but it is what it is. In the next battle, we see another Swampert in the lead. However, this one is the Shadow variant, so 2 Hydro Cannons are going to knock us out. What the heck was that? We see some kind of weird glitch in K-Twin's recording. However, I don't think it made any difference, as we're still in the same battle. We tank the first Hydro Cannon. Dubwool then throws 1 double kick, looking to get off the next Body Slam. However, Swampert does outpace. We commit a shield. We then throw 1 further double kick and the Body Slam. Does Swampert look to make a play at switch? Yes, they do. Dubwool outpaces to the next Body Slam, and Body Slam should be lethal. The opponent actually choosing to double shield, and I think at this stage we just let Dubwool go down. K-Twin agrees. You will notice that K-Twin was always throwing odd numbers, and that allowed him to force both shields off Swampert. We send out Rapidash. We go straight for the Body Slam, securing the knockout. So K-Twin has managed to get himself shield advantage, and the opponent sends out Tentacruel. Tentacruel, you are not going to appreciate this high horsepower. High horsepower lands for heavy super effective damage. We then pivot out into Weezing. Some Tentacruel runs Sludge Wave or Blizzard, so we respect the charge move. It's only a Scald. The opponent then attempt to catch a Brutal Swing onto Mandibuzz. K-Twin says, I think fucking not. We fire off the Play Rough, and my god, is Mandibuzz tick. The Flying Umbreon actually tanked that really well. The opponent, though, going to be returning fire with Aerial Asses, and Aerial Asses is a dreadful charge move. We make one more play rough, 2 stab play roughs. Don't even put this into Fairy Wind farm down range. Yikes. I think the best use for Rapidash is probably as a third shield at this stage. We pivot out into Rapidash though. If we throw the body slam, we're just going to get Poison Jab farm down. So we just allow Rapidash to go down. It's going to be all down to Galarian Weezing to sweep this team. Back out comes Tentacruel. One Brutal Swing isn't going to be lethal. It's going to be a race to the charge move. Can we outpace? No. Tentacruel makes the Scald and the opponent is going to take that game. In the next battle, we see Gliscor, somewhat of a core breaker as they do resist our double kicks, and Galarian Weezing most certainly would not fancy taking an Earthquake to the face. We stay in, tank the Night Slash. Again, K-Twin always throwing an optimal fast move timing, one double kick and the body slam. The opponent then throws 2 wing attacks. Not great timing from the opponent as we do sneak 2 free turns. The opponent still fishing for that boost and RNG luck is not in their favour. K-Twin now full sends the payback. Payback lands for heavy neutral damage. The opponent continuing to throw out potato time and they throw after 3 wing attacks. For the love of God, 2 turn versus 3 turn. Throw out 1, 4 or 7. We bank the charge move, get the aggressive Fairy Wind farm down with Weezing. The opponent committed to the Earthquake and due to the terrible charge move timing, they didn't make it. The opponent answers our Weezing Safe Switch with Cresselia. This should be a good inkling that they might have Future Sight. However, that looks like CMP and that is only 7 Psycho Cuts, so this can only be a Moonblast. Again, a bit of a mistake from the opponent. You can see K-Twin's been to score, instantly clicking no shield, knowing the opponent's one short of the Future Sight. They then pivot out into Wall Rain and we're YOLOing the play rough. The opponent respects it with a Protect Shield and here comes My Little Pony. My Little Pony super spammy to charge moves. However, this pretty little pony not particularly bulky. We shield up an Icicle Sphere, K-Twin gonna return fire with a body slam. To my surprise, the opponent invests that final Protect Shield, a very interesting shield. I don't know what they was expecting, but I don't think you want to shield the Walrus. The opponent then full sends the Earthquake. My Little Pony just about shrugs it off. The opponent now with no Protect Shields remaining, we fire off the first body slam for some chip damage. We commit to the High Horsepower. Does High Horsepower secure the knockout? No, it doesn't. So we see the wham bam combo play into Dubwool. Dubwool takes care of the Walrus. Back out comes Cresselia and there's absolutely no win con for the opponent and they see the writing on the wall and concede the match. Shout out Home Slice. Moving on to the next one. We see the Dubwool mirror. This looks like a fight you might see in a farm with 2 angry goats kicking the shit out of each other. We strike first with the body slam. The opponent going to return fire with their own charge move. Do they send the payback? No, they just send the body slam. The opponent throws back to back. Dubwool will survive this. K-Twin actually pauses a turn, waiting to see what come in. Great discipline. They send out Tapu Fini and we answer with Rapidash. Rapidash full sending the nuke. High Horsepower lands for decent neutral damage. It looks like 2 High Horsepowers will knock out. We probably won't survive a Moonblast. However, the opponent only throws a Surf. K-Twin looks to commit to the High Horsepower, forcing the energy off the opponent. We actually invest the Protect Shield here. We're going for the body slam bait. The opponent knows High Horsepower will knock out, so they do respect the charge move. They get baited with a body slam. No, we die with the next body slam. Absolutely brutal. We send back out Dubwool. We've got the body slam locked and loaded. Body slam doesn't secure the knockout. We then look to snipe with Weezing and back out comes Dubwool. We do resist a double kick, so a nice opportunity to overfarm. Holy cow, the opponent running wild charge. That definitely caught me off guard. Weezing can now return fire with the Brutal Swing. With the lower defense, Brutal Swing secures the knockout. The opponent still has the low health Tapu Fini and whatever's in the back. Let's go. The opponent running Shadow Drifblim, a Pokemon we did feature yesterday, a really cool pick. We draw the final shield with the Brutal Swing. Weezing already at the next Brutal Swing. Brutal Swing going to do some decent chip damage to the balloon. The opponent at a charge move. We are going to respect it with a Protect Shield. The opponent debuff us with the Mystical Fire. They look to snipe with Tapu Fini and what a savage catch. K-Twin tanks the Surf on the 1 HP and a Dream Dubwool. Back out comes Weezing. Resisted Brutal Swing going to take care of Tapu Fini and we're going to outpace Drifblim to the next Brutal Swing and K-Twin pulls off a very nice win. GG's and thanks for playing. In the next battle, we see Giratina. If they're on Shadow Claw, a pretty good matchup. The opponent instantly pivot out, giving me a good inkling they're probably on Shadow Claw. The opponent safe switch into Registeel. K-Twin instantly calls. No flash cannon. The opponent fires off the zap and no, they get the debuff. That is brutal, as that now means 2 high horsepowers won't knock out. You can see the first one does about 45%, so the second one is going to leave him in the red. RNG really doing the opponent a favour here. Even with a 1-stage debuff, Rapidash made this matchup pretty close. We just sacked the Rapidash. We come into Dubwool. Can we get the double kick farm down before the next charge move? No, the tin can. Far too thick. They make the focus blast. We do respect it. With a shield, the opponent then give up switch, sending out Giratina, and they are indeed on Shadow Claw. That's a pretty interesting switch from the opponent, as they are hitting us for double resisted with these Shadow Claws. And Giratina absolutely tickles. Dubwool says, what the fuck is that Dragon Claw? It does essentially nothing. K-Twin going straight payback all the way. The opponent has actually invested both Protect Shields here. They probably think, if we've got Dubwool and Rapidash, we probably don't have a third counter for Giratina. But my god, Mr. Opponent, are you about to be surprised? K-Twin continuing to farm up. He still survives yet another Dragon Claw. K-Twin pauses a turn, making sure the opponent doesn't make a catch. Payback does land for heavy super effective damage. We then see the pivot into Weezing, looking to get ahead in energy. The opponent fires a charge move. It definitely isn't a Shadow Force. They go for the Shadow Sneak. The opponent continues to stay in, so K-Twin looks to get rid of him with the Brutal Swing. Brutal Swing secures the knockout. We need to be mindful the opponent has Registeel as a sacrificial swap. The opponent send out Cresselia. They're running the big 3 legendaries. They attempt to sack. K-Twin saw it coming a mile away and says, not today, trainer. We then return fire with a Brutal Swing, which lands for decent super effective damage on Cresselia. I'll be honest, it's not that decent, as Cresselia is so bulky. It looks like we need 2 more Brutal Swings to take this thing out. K-Twin calls the bait and the opponent throws the Grass Knot. We then pivot out into Dubwool. We bank the Brutal Swing. Dubwool says, I'll help you get rid of this super thick, annoying threat. The opponent gonna try and Psycho Cut, farm down Dubwool. The goat says, no, I'm far too thick. For you, you bulky silly pest. We fire off the Body Slam. Body Slam gets some low. Brutal Swing gonna secure the dub with the timer approaching in the background, and we take that game. In the next battle, we see Dubwool into Ampharos. 3 turn versus 4 turn is quite awkward for that correct timing. You want to throw after 1 double kick or 5 double kicks. That's 3 turns versus 4 turns, or 15 versus 16, only giving the opponent 1 free turn. K-Twin absolutely does not let me down, throwing after 5. We shield up a potential focus blast. The opponent baits us with the Thunder Punch. K-Twin again throws at immaculate timing. Shout out K-Twin, who's thrown at beautiful timing throughout this video, and it's been a pleasure to shoutcast. Dubwool again throws at optimal fast move timing. We then pivot out into Weezing. The opponent looking to chip us with a Thunder Punch. They then switch out into Tentacle. So I think that Thunder Punch is a huge waste of energy. Ampharos is pretty attack weighted, so you can win CMP with that charge move later, and Tentacle is going to have no problem taking care of this Weezing, as our Brutal Swings aren't going to do a lot. It looks like Tentacle can actually survive 4, which is absolutely ridiculous. This squid is so thick. K-Twin recognising his Weezing is pretty hopeless in this match as we just let it go down. We send back out Dubwool. Our double kicks are resisted, however Body Slam is a decent move and hits for neutral. However, Tentacruel shrugs it off reasonably well. K-Twin not interested in his shield and his Dubwool. The opponent actually baits with an Acid Spray. What a call. We then throw on alignment. Yikes, the first time we've thrown on alignment in absolutely ages and we're made to pay. The opponent makes a catch on the low health Ampharos. We then pivot out into Rapidash. We will be able to farm down, however we're going to be permanently debuffed. My god, the poison jab's already got us at half health. The opponent's final Pokemon is Obstagoon. If we successfully bait it, I think we could win if we had a different moveset, as Rapidash has access to both Mega Horn and Play Rough. We reach the high horsepower on the CMP side. The opponent probably shit in their pants. However, it's only a high horsepower. They easily survive that. Night Slash takes us out. Dubwool going to be able to just about reach the Body Slam. We actually die with the move, but Body Slam wouldn't have knocked out anyway. You can see K-Twin pulls off a very nice 4-on-1. Moving on to the next one. Dubwool into Dragonite. A lot of Dragonites come with Steel in the back. We say switch into My Little Pony. Come on, trainer, bring out the Steel type. The opponent farming up a boatload of energy. Are we about to get a Hurricane? No, we do get a Hurricane. We get returned to our Pokeball. There is absolutely no shot. A huge shout out to this opponent, running a spicy moveset. Holy smoke. They then make a savage catch, catching the Body Slam onto Tapu Fini. What the heck did this trainer have for breakfast that we're playing today? Dubwool makes another body slam. Body slam gets Tapu Fini into the yellow. We both still got 2 protect shields apiece. K-Twin needs to pull off some magic to get back into this game. The opponent fires off the Surf. Dubwool shrugs it off. We then return fire with another body slam. The opponent not willing to shield. We come into Weezing looking for the snipe. We don't snipe. We actually aren't going to shield this Surf either. What is in the back? The opponent sends out Swampert, and my god, this looks rough. It looks like K-Twin going to take the loss on the chin. Hydro Cannon doesn't one-shot. We do return fire with the Play Rough. Play Rough doesn't draw a Protect Shield, and we concede the match. Very, very well played to that opponent. Moving on to the next one. We see a Mudshot Poliwrath. So this opponent isn't on the new counter Community Day hype yet. We bait out an Overquill. I know this team. It's going to be my own team with double Dark Poison in the back. We bait with a Body Slam. Come on, K-Twin. K-Twin looking to make a play at switch. We're now going to full send the high horsepower. Does the opponent know? And are they willing to shield? They are not. They near get one shot. This is now going to allow Galarian Rapidash to take back switch. And that's exactly what we do. We shield up the Aqua Tail, commit to the Psycho Cut farm down. We're on minimal HP. The opponent is running double Dark Poison. Holy smokes, what a cool team. Quillfish and Overquill. Respect to this opponent. I run double Dark Poison a lot, and I was actually looking to run Overquill and Quillfish myself. However, apparently you've got to win 10 raids with Quillfish to evolve into Overquill, and I absolutely am not doing any of that raiding nonsense, because until Niantic fix the fucking game, I'm not spending money on it. However, getting back into the commentary, we full send the Play Rough. The opponent calls, we haven't got Play Rough. They near get one shot and concede the match. Shout out to that opponent, repping a really cool team. On the off chance you're watching this video, I'd love to shoutcast your battles. Moving on to the next one. We see Dubwool into Obscure. The double kicks are double super effective, and we're taking super effective in return. We switch out into Galarian Rapidash, looking to catch the cross chop. We bait out Skunk Tank. Do they know we're going straight for the high horsepower? Does the opponent respect the damage? No! Boo, Mr. Opponent. They do shield up the high horsepower. Are we going to shield to look to get off the second? Yes, we are. We shield up the crunch, return fire with another high horsepower. Is the opponent willing to double shield? Yes, they are. The opponent now going to commit to the Poison Jab farm down. Galarian Rapidash has forced both shields off a Poison type, which is absolutely ludicrous. We send out Dubwool RNG in the opponent's favour. So despite them going down 2 shields, Skunk Tank putting in work. The opponent going to outpace us to another crunch. Do we invest our final Protect Shield here? Yes, we do. The opponent then go for a very nice combo play. Pivoting out into Obscure with a lowered defense. Even a Night Slash is enough to knock us out. It's now all down to Weezing to sweep this team. It's going to be a very tall task. We don't have any Protect Shields to hide behind. The opponent fires off the Night Slash. We don't see a boost. K-Twin farms up beautifully, maximising his energy, throwing the Play Rough on the CMP tie. Down goes Obstagoon. What is that final Pokemon? The opponent's final Pokemon is Trevenant. I don't think 2 Brutal Swings will knock out. We farm up fire on the CMP tie, but we lose CMP, and Shadow Ball is going to be all she wrote. Weezing just didn't have enough in the tank. Moving on to the next one. Great lead. Sandslash doesn't want the smoke or the work of our Dubwool. The opponent say switch into Jellicent, and here comes Weezing. We do respect the first move, wanting to maintain alignment, and a great shield from K-Twin, recognising the opponent's unlikely to bait when we're at full health. We correctly shield up a Shadow Ball, and we can now start spamming out Brutal Swings. K-Twin, as always, throwing a great fast move timing. Jellicent looking to make a play for switch. Weezing can survive a Shadow Ball. The opponent full sends it. Weezing shrugs it off. K-Twin then throws one Fairy Wind and the next Brutal Swing. Is the opponent willing to double shield? Yes, they are, without already at the next Brutal Swing. Is Brutal Swing enough to knock out? No, it's not. Jellicent does make a charge move. This is only a Surf, but Surf is going to be lethal. K-Twin opts to come in to My Little Pony, and my god, do I like this play, because Sandslash is not ready for this high horsepower. K-Twin farms up, fires the high horsepower on the CMP tie. How much damage does this do? Yikes, the opponent near gets one shot. K-Twin, last second, commits a shield, wanting to keep My Little Pony alive. And why not, as this is a Galarian Rapidash showcase. We fire off the Body Slam even resisted, secures the knockout. The opponent's final Pokemon is Tapu Fini, and I don't think Tapu Fini is going to have enough in the tank to take out 1.5 Pokemon. They do resist the double kicks, which is advantageous. However, Dubwool, pretty thick. We're not in Moonblast range, so the opponent's probably going to have to throw back-to-back surfs. However, they're already approaching half HP. The opponent fires off the first surf. Dubwool shrugs it off. Dubwool even makes a body slam. Tapu Fini is now going to be left deep in the red. The opponent probably looking to farm up 2 back-to-back charge moves. They throw the charge move just before we reach the body slam. We survive the surf, we reach the body slam, and Dubwool is going to clean up that game. GG's, and thanks for playing. In the next battle, we see our goat into a walrus. This goat is saying, I'm the better land animal, because this is not an advantageous matchup for the walrus. We are spammier than they are, and we hit them for super effective with our double kicks. The opponent doesn't build up to an earthquake, an easy no shield. We shrug off the icicle sphere. K-Twin then looks to fire off the next body slam on great fast move timing, and the opponent makes a savage catch, catching the body slam onto Giratina. Although that was a very nice catch from the opponent, this is not a great matchup for Giratina, especially running Shadow Claw, as the quick move is double resisted. We actually go for a bait and the opponent calls it. What a savage. Dubwool still outside of Dragon Claw range. We tank the claw, pivot out into Weezing. Weezing a pretty good response for Giratina as the opponent's forced to go for Shadow Sneak or Ancient Power, and both aren't the best move. Weezing tanks the sneak, the opponent throws one more sneak. We need to be mindful that the opponent's switch timer will be popping up soon. K-Twin goes for the brutal swing. Although super effective, it won't knock out the bulky Giratina. The opponent continues to stay in, so K-Twin fires off the next brutal swing. The opponent just sacked Giratina, they send back out the walrus. Weezing so spammy. Fires off one more brutal swing. The opponent finally invests the Protect Shield. We then see the wham bam combo play into Dubwool. We fire off the body slam. The opponent invests their final shield and send out Charizard. I don't think I've ever seen an opponent commit both Protect Shield and leave a Shadow Charizard with no shield. Let's see how this works out for the opponent. K-Twin has 2 Protect Shields, 2 high behind. Of course the opponent baits us, but I don't think any amount of baiting is going to save him. K-Twin respects another Blast Burn. The opponent does throw the Hail Mary. We respect it. Rapidash at the back-to-back body slams. The first one does about 45% of the remaining HP. We see a very nice overfarm. K-Twin fires off the next body slam. Body slam will be lethal. We then pivot out into Weezing, looking to catch the charge move. We don't catch. The opponent forced to throw. Icicle Sphere takes us out. We bank the body slam, and body slam is going to be all she wrote. And another very nice win to close out the video. Huge shout out to K-Twin for the incredible battle submission using double Galarian Fairies. We see Weezing fairly often. Well, not fairly often, but it is kind of meta. Rapidash I've never seen in the Ultra League, but my god, was it hilarious seeing it beat that Registeel in the Zero Shield. So if you're enjoying the content, smash that like button if you're new. Consider dropping me a sub, as I am now posting a lot more regularly. I'm trying to get on the regular grind, but I do work a lot. If you'd like your battles featured on my channel, a link to a battle submission form is down below. And as always, a huge thank you to everyone for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.